Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come and talk to you. It's evening. I'm in Texas. It's very cold outside, like really, really cold. I keep dressing up like an Eskimo when I go out there. So if you live in Texas, don't forget to open your cupboards below your faucets. It helps keep your pipes from freezing over. I hate winter. I moved south for a reason. I'm from Ohio originally, but I moved south for a reason, and this ain't it. This ain't doing it. I wanted to come and talk to you because the other day when I was on here, I said some things. We were going over, I think I went into 1 Corinthians 2:11 on that video. And I made a comment about Mary's hands being sinful when she wasn't able to touch Christ upon his resurrection. At one point during that video, I made that comment. You'll have to deal with my nerves right now. My brain is all over the map. I've got 100 things going on upstairs. So, but I made a comment about Mary's hands being sinful. And I want to go into an interesting topic that I don't understand why the church doesn't discuss this or has, until I crossed it myself in the scriptures, I never heard it. But, and you know what? I'm not a scholar. I'm not a brainiac. I am a mother. I have raised 6 of my own babies. I've got 7 grandkids. I'm the matriarch of my family. And that's it. I don't have any special skill sets. I'm terrible with technology. But I do know how to read this. I hear the Lord when I read this. And I know how to interpret the scriptures. That is something that I've chased my entire life. I came to the Lord when I was 10. I watched my mom pass away. A 10-year-old child standing at her mom's casket raises some very genuine and serious questions as I've grown in the Lord. I got a teenage son. Give me just a second. Sorry. I like to do these in private. I don't like to do these in front of other people. I don't like to do these at all, but I feel like it's necessary for us as a body to start rising up and respecting the truth. We need to respect what's in the scriptures. We need to respect the scriptures. And in respecting the scriptures, we need to respect one another. And we're just not seeing that. You know, I just came over from Dawn Hill's channel. I was watching Dawn Hill. And we're seeing a lot of spiritual abuse right now. And why can't we just talk about things? You know, why do we have to always be on this personal, like we're always defensive and we're always, this is what I meant the other day when I said we don't trust each other. We don't trust each other to talk. And when someone shows you something that's very just blatantly in the scriptures and you continue to defend it, your position, even though the scriptures tell you otherwise, I just don't understand. Anyway, I'm rambling. I don't mean to ramble. That's just part of my nerves. But so Mary's hands. The reason why I told you the other day that upon Jesus' resurrection, she could not touch Christ because her hands were sinful. So my question to you is, how many times did Jesus ascend? Because according to this, the answer is 2. So go with me, if I can even get myself together, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Let's go into the book of John. Let's go to chapter 20 verse 17. First of all, John 20:17. Dawn says that she's just a white lady with glasses, and I'm the white lady that needs glasses. I'm in denial about my age. But you see me, I'm going. Anyway, let's start with verse 16. We're going to go to John 20. We'll start in verse 16. Jesus saith unto her, Mary. So she didn't recognize him after he rose from the grave, but she heard his voice. Which, my sheep hear my voice. So as soon as she heard him say her name, she knew him. She turned herself to him and saith unto him, Rabboni, which is to say, Master. Jesus saith unto her, Touch me not, for I am not yet ascended to my Father, but go to my brethren and say unto them, I ascend unto my Father, and to your Father, and to my God, and to your God. And then Mary Magdalene goes on to the disciples, and she tells the disciples, and of course they don't believe her. Her women's opinions and thoughts were not very, they were not heavily regarded. So the reason why I think Jesus allowed Mary to see him is because of the fact that she was a woman, and the disciples had to have faith that what she was saying was true. But go and tell my brothers that I ascend unto my God, or unto my Father and your Father, and my God and my God. What is happening here? What is happening is that Jesus, when he died, he was buried. Okay, and then there's Sheol. Sheol's the place where there is paradise and hell. You have Abraham's bosom. He went and he took the keys of death and hell. And, the resurrection, a lot of people rose from the grave at the resurrection. They rose and they stood in their graves until the resurrection of Christ, when they come out of their graves and they appeared unto many. I don't think that they, like these folks, some people think that they died twice. I don't believe that they died twice. I think that they went. These are the Old Testament saints, and I think that when Christ ascended in Acts 9, Acts 1:9, when he ascended, and the angels are like, why are you gazing up into heaven? He's going to come back the same way that he ascended from the Mount of Olives. He's going to come back to the Mount of Olives when he comes back to earth. So those are the two, Acts 1:9, and then John 20, verse 17. And what is going on here is that he rose from the grave, and she saw him, and he tells her not to touch him because he hasn't ascended to the Father yet. Why does he need to ascend to the Father? He became the high priest, which is in Hebrews, throughout the book of Hebrews. But I've seen some interesting, I listened to the entire book of Hebrews last night, so I want to say Hebrews 9. So if you go into Hebrews chapter 9, I tried to take notes last night, but I had a lot when my daughter was talking to me and my grandkids, and one of these days I'll get it together, maybe. Let's see. So later, Thomas is able to put his hands into the wounds of Christ. Mary's not allowed to touch him because he becomes the high priest. He has to take the blood offering to the Father, to the kingdom of heaven. It was once for all, and he followed the same Old Testament pattern. He followed. He was the sacrifice, and he was the high priest, and he took the blood offering to the mercy seat in the kingdom of God, not into the kingdom here on earth, that is not into temples that were made with human hands, but to the kingdom of God. He took the blood offering to the mercy seat of the kingdom of God. And then he appeared to his disciples in the middle of a room, in the upper room, behind a locked door. They were locked behind the door because of the Jews. They were afraid of the Jews. And then he's with the disciples and appears to many, many people throughout the 40 days that he walked the earth before his ascension, his final ascension into the heavens. So the reason why Mary could not touch Christ is because he had not taken the blood offering to the mercy seat of God. He doesn't need human hands to touch him. But after he goes, because he tells her why she can't touch him. Touch me not, but go and tell my brothers that I ascend unto my Father and unto your Father and unto my God and your God. And then we go into the book of Acts, where we see his final ascension. So that is why I said that for the people that have asked me that question, is because the difference between Thomas and Mary is that Jesus had already completed his ascension to the mercy seat of God when he is with his disciples, and Thomas is able to put his hands in the wounds. Mr. Doubting Thomas over there. I just write down random notes and then remember why. I need to stop doing that. I got John 12 listed here, and it says Judas was never saved. John 12. Darling, what are you talking about? John 12. Because apparently I wanted to discuss it with you. Then Jesus, 6 days before the Passover, came to Bethany, where Lazarus. I keep waiting for it. I'm old school too. I keep waiting for it to shut me down because it's been going for too long. So if it does that, I guess I'll make another video another time, because I did discuss what I wanted to discuss with you today. And it's late. It's like 10:50 here, so it's been a really long day, and my brain starts going on autopilot after it reaches bedtime in my head. I don't know. Look into John 12 and tell me why I said Judas was never saved. I'm sure it's in here. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and read the whole chapter, but I'll go in and figure it out and write more notes that I won't understand to try to tell you. Oh, Lord. Thank you if you're coming over to my channel from Smart Christians. I've really been blessed by Corey this past year, and the group of people that's on his channel. I mean, you guys are phenomenal, and I just love you guys so much. I've been able to really have some decent discussions with some of you in ways that were deep, and I didn't feel like I was being judged. Like I didn't feel like I was being attacked. You weren't telling me how deceived I was, or about certain things that I see in the scriptures. Like angels, for example, and our definition of angels, and whether or not, we can Christians take on the definition of the word, and I believe that we do take on the definition of the word. I'm not into like mystical angels, and I stick with the literal text. I believe that this is literal, and I believe that we need to start taking it literally. And I am going to get louder and louder about that as the year goes, because it's literal, it's literal, it's literal, it's literal. And it's not about fantastical nonsense. It's not about what you feel. We've got to start standing up for the church. And the miracle I seen this past year was Wes Huff and the way that he conducted himself. I think he set a very good example with defending the truth without defending himself and his point, because he don't have to. He let the scriptures do the defending for him. And I'm far from that. I still get emotional about things. I think we all do if we're being really truthful about it. And I think we could all learn and take a page from his book when it comes to that. But when I see wolves in the church, and I can spot them almost immediately. I'm 47. I've been doing this a long time. So I can spot them. And when I do, I just get so mad because it's deliberate. It's not ignorance. If it was just ignorance, that would be different. But it's purposeful. It's like there's like a selfish and a manipulative intent behind it, and it really bothers me. Anyways, I've got Hebrews 9 listed. I have John 8 listed. I have Acts 1:19 listed in my notes. I have John 20 verse 17, which we went over today, and Acts 1:9. John 12, Judas was never seen. All right. I'm gonna go for now because I'm rambling and really don't have much else to say. So I'll talk to you guys probably tomorrow or maybe a couple days from now, but we'll get there. Okay. All right. Bye, guys.